Hello everyone and welcome to Best Side Cycling. Today I'm on my regular commute to work, which is basically around downtown Bellevue. And today I wanted to show off some sort of typical hazards or things I need to watch out for on my typical ride. These are centered around bike infrastructure, and unsurprisingly a lot of them are going to be around here in downtown Bellevue. Downtown Bellevue isn't quite like Seattle. It's still got the huge roads and everything, so it's definitely not the most bike friendly, but with these tips hopefully it can be manageable. So the first thing that comes up is missing bike lanes, or bike lanes that sort of just disappear out of nowhere, and this is just a clear example of one. So this is 118th as we're riding along, and suddenly the bike lane just ends, and really the only thing you can do in this case is to merge in with the road. But as always, it's with the difference of speed and sometimes drivers not being aware, this can be really dangerous. So you can see the dot lines here is where they recommend you merge in, but in reality you should be merging in much sooner. Sorry, there's like a huge headwind here as I'm riding north. But yeah, so when you do decide to merge in, you don't have to go that far and take the entire lane all the time, but just enough so that you feel safe, and you have to make sure that there's no cars. Here we have actually one of the few rare trails around here in downtown Bellevue. This one helps you connect from 112th to sort of the back streets of 118th, and it's pretty useful, especially going northbound, because you avoid a lot of lights and you have a dedicated path. But the weird thing about this one is how it connects back onto the road. So we'll soon see here is that it basically just drops you off right onto the road here without much of signage or anything, and maybe just a little bit of green paint here. So the only thing you can do here is just make sure to watch close and make sure there's no cars nearby at all as you go there. And as you saw, I also just dodged the pothole. So definitely there's things to watch out for as you continue to ride along here. But I've ridden this many times, so I feel like I've just gotten accustomed to it. But these are things that I feel that definitely can be improved and can be worked on by the city. So definitely, if you see anything, you can always feel free to sort of call it out. And here's the next one. So we're on 110th or 112th, and here between 10th and 12th Street, the bike lanes just disappear. Right now, it's not as treacherous because I can just sort of merge in since there's no car near me. But if you're stopped here at a stoplight with another car, it gets really awkward because there's such a big difference in speed and the lane narrows a little bit. And speaking of other hazards, there's some construction going on right now, so that's sort of blocking my way. I'm communicating with the car behind me that I'm taking this lane and going up ahead. But overall today, definitely an interesting day for biking. It's now after work and the sun is out, and it definitely looks and feels a lot better than the sort of rainy morning. But yeah, speaking on that last section that I passed, I did contact the city, and they did say that that missing gap is going to be re-stripped and paved over with bike lanes later this year. So, I mean, for some of these changes, there are changes that are coming, positive ones. So I'm very helpful for that. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, please roll over the like button and subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you know when I'm uploading more Seattle videos. So the next area topic that I want to bring up is crosswalks. And here I'm on sort of this big sidewalk on 12th Street that I need to use to get back west. And there's this crosswalk here, and there's a 3-lane sort of road, and it's sort of two problems basically. One is cars behind me might come and unhook me from the left, turning right, and the other is cars on the very far side over here making a right turn. they may not see you as you go along because there's 2 other lanes. So I'm demonstrating this right now. There's a car here behind me, as well as this car here on the right. Sometimes when there's no cars already stopped there, I've had multiple instances where I've had to sort of look out and the only solution to this, if you do have to use a crosswalk, frankly, is to just ride really slow. Cars don't expect objects coming out from the left and right, and that's probably one of the highest chances places of having an incident in these places where there's cars are turning. So definitely, if your route requires you to use a crosswalk, just pay extra attention to these cars. Ones in the far lanes and the ones turning into you. So this is 112, and this is part of the official Lake Washington route. And I'm probably here at sort of the busiest time that you'll get in terms of cars. Usually there isn't that much traffic here, but right now, sort of Friday rush hour, there's a lot. And what I need to do is make a left on 2nd Street. Definitely, if you're not comfortable with cars, the solution here is just to use this crosswalk and go over to the left and then sort of roll over on the sideways walks. The other option is, you'll soon see me do, is to either perform a merge after the next light and get onto my turn, or it's to sort of emulate a turn box and sort of get ahead of the traffic when there's a stoplight, so that you can sort of be on your way and then make the turn. But as I'm leading up to this area, I'm basically going to be taking a lot of the lane, as I don't really want cars to be passing me quite yet around here. They can pass me up ahead, but not quite here. So in this particular circumstance, I'm going to do the maneuver to get ahead of the car so that I can make the left turn, because I recognize that there's a stoplight here. So I'm going to be here, and then I'm going to be going up ahead to make a left turn at the next intersection. This admittedly has its flaws. You may get honked at by some impatient drivers, but this is the easiest way for me to connect onto the left turn without having to do a merge. Especially with this much traffic here today, the chances of me doing a merge is pretty high. People can see me signaling and stuff, but as of any commute, you want to minimize the chance of risk and there being any complications. So definitely, this is a tactic you can use too. You have to do it in really controlled circumstances, as if the lights change on you and things like that, definitely pay heed. So definitely safety first, whatever you do. So for most people, it'll probably just be using the crosswalk and such. All right, so as the lights go on here, I'm gonna start rolling, taking up the lane, and then signaling to the person behind me that I am in fact just here to make a left, so they don't get too mad at me. But yeah. But here I'm rolling now, and I need to go make my left, so I'm signaling to them now, and I'm just going to continue taking this lane for the next little bit until I get to make my left. So I'm here in the left lane now, and here ready to make my turn. So now after this turn, we're on 118th, and then shortly after, we are presented with the next hazard. So this is a downhill, and you can definitely pick up some decent speed here, but it is sort of a one-lane road with sharrows. But the thing is that up ahead is a blind turn, effectively, for cars coming from Main Street. They sort of have like this outlet from the right, and the issue is that when you ride on here, you're sort of really tempted to stay to the right as far as you can. But the problem with doing that is that it's the same thing as the crosswalk. Drivers do not realize that cars may be biking, and they don't stop ahead of time. They usually peek out a little further than what they think they can go with. And if I was there on the very right, at times the cars can get extremely close. So you see me now slowly moving towards the right and back and making way for the cars behind me after I pass that point. These subtleties and things are things that you definitely will pick up along as you ride and commute on your route more. I definitely don't ever feel sort of endangered by cars whenever I give them the sort of sufficient space in time to recognize where I am. But with that, I'm just going to sort of show off one last example here, and that is obstructions in the bike lane. So I think without a doubt, everyone's had experienced this before. Here, for my example, there's just some construction pylons left out in the middle of the way. It could be this, or it could even be like cars parked there, or sometimes like cars that park really close to the bike lane and you're afraid that you'll get doored. All these are really valid, and really the answer is going to be the same. You just have to always check in advance, make room ahead of time, and then roll on. So that's a lot of what I do here. Sometimes you do, if you're not able to perform the maneuver, it's always fine to just sort of brake and stop. I definitely never make a move left towards traffic without knowing that it's safe. It's never worth it. And yeah, that sort of wraps up my commute near the downtown Bellevue area. Let me know what your commute is like and what are the typical things that you need to watch out for. I'm gonna be, I promise you, finding more routes to show you all as the weather gets warmer and I'll get further away from this Bellevue area. Look forward to that, and I'll see you all in the next one.